Today is Tuesday, March 14, and this is Wilderness Wanderings.
Welcome to Wilderness Wanderings. My name is Renita Reed-Thomson, and I have the privilege to serve as a partner missionary with you at Immanuel Christian Reformed Church. I work with many pastors across West, Central, and East Africa who are seeking to reclaim a redeemed marketplace for Christ. One pastor in particular has inspired me as well as many of the members of his church. His name is Reverend Dr. Johnson Asare from northern Ghana, and you will often hear him say that it is risky not to take risks. He is a man who has taken many risks in his life as a businessman, a pastor, a Muslim turned Christian, and a community leader. He knows what he is talking about. Hearing him say this has stuck with me because of his testimony, and I find myself repeating that phrase from time to time. It is risky not to take risks. I'm reminded of this as I consider the parable from Matthew 25, where our text comes from. This is a familiar parable of the talents, so I will not read the whole passage, but want to remind us that it is a story Jesus tells about a man who goes on a journey and entrusts 3 servants with different amounts of his wealth according to his ability. One receives 5 bags of gold, another 2 bags, and another 1 bag. The first 2 double what they've been given, while the last servant simply buries it. The master is pleased with the first 2 and welcomes them to more responsibility, while the last one gives this explanation for his lack of effort, which we read from verses 24 and 25. Verse 24 says, "Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. 'Master,' he said, 'I know that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you.'" This parable reminds us that it is a sin to squander what God has given us. He has given us 3 main resources: time, treasure, and talent. And all 3 work together for the flourishing of the world, for the flourishing of ourselves, and for the glory of God. This parable reminds us that we are not to wrap or bind up those opportunities and bury them for fear of losing them through risky ventures or doing things what we might consider as incorrectly. I see this over and again in my work with business leaders across Africa. Doing business is risky, and I've watched many people take those risks. Unfortunately, many businesses do fail, but that is not the end of the story. There is much to be learned in those failures. In the same way, we take risks in relationships, in church, in accepting a new job, or investing yourself in your community. Living involves risk. It is an investment of ourselves to people, places, and things. We are accountable for the investment of our lives. We are responsible to God, to ourselves, and to each other. We may sympathize with the person who received only 1 talent, but we must always remember that the source of the conservatism on the part of that person was his inadequate view of God. The servant with 1 bag only saw his master as someone who was a hard man, harvesting where he hadn't sown and gathering where he hadn't distributed the seed. But we must view God in his entirety. He has given each person unique combinations of time, treasure, and talent. He has crafted us in a way that when we use these resources with integrity and love, it is a win-win-win. As I head into this day, I wonder what risks I will take with my time, treasure, and talent. I wonder which risks I will cower at, which ones I will embrace, and which ones I will bury. My heart's desire is to prayerfully consider the risks before me, and to remember that I am accountable not just for the risks I take, but also for the risks I don't take. Be encouraged this day in taking risks for the glory of God.
As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.